Hello, it's me. I am Podcast.
And we start there. Welcome to the Voice Chat podcast, everybody. I'm not sure whether we should number this or do a live episode, but if it's numbered episode 7. My name is Maaz from TheAMaazing.
I'm Rushlight Invader.
I'm Laddi.
And these are our friends.
I am Pants from Mr. Pants.
I am Demon from Demon.
I'm Dave Navarre.
What's whipping my nays? It's your boy Blaze. I'm out here making orange juice for all the little boys and girls who love me.
Dude, can I get some orange juice?
Yeah, dude.
Am I a little boy?
You're a little boy.
Oh my god, thank you.
I adore you.
It's Diddy.
It's Diddy. And off camera we've got NuNu.
Disembodied voice number 1.
And then other off camera we've got Demon the Lucky. Demon the Lucky. No, D-Man the Lucky.
I hate you guys.
Alright, so we just wanted to record a podcast because we finally met up with each other. You know?
Yeah.
Yay!
There we go, celebrate.
This is our first time meeting each other.
And I hate everyone. No,
Everybody's here.
everybody's here.
I haven't seen these guys for more than 5 minutes and I'm already sick of them.
Dude,
Oh.
everybody's here. I see Waluigi outside crying.
You know, I know you guys for like 10 seconds, and I already feel like I've known you guys for 10 years.
That's more sweet, but it's true.
I would kiss that beautiful mouth.
So to give context to how we met these guys, we, like, as in like Laddi, Rush, and I, we've been on Discord for 2+ years now. Gosh, that's just a long time. But we've been on Discord for a while, and then Laddi made her server, and then that's where I met up with most of these guys, honestly, in Laddi's server. And now that Laddi's server is dead, we have a different server.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Laddi's
Beautiful
server.
little boy.
Kept it alive.
Yeah, it's like on life support. It's like on the last breath. You're like, I'm Laddi. Yeah, so like we met each other there, and we've just been we've been friends for a while now.
Nice.
But we haven't met each other at all. We've done video calls, but we hadn't met each other. And then finally this year, VidCon US 2018, we met up.
Yeah.
We did. Hey, Mars.
What's up?
I've actually known you since March of last year.
March of last year. Yeah, you have known for ages. You have known for ages. I think everyone else is like, yeah, the NuNu Squad crew.
They're
Yeah.
NuNu.
Then
I gotta go. I'm going to LA.
Bye.
Later, guys.
Okay.
Bye.
oh, you dropping a ball at that? Dang.
I'm dropping the. I'm sorry. I gotta go.
Everybody give it
I
up
love
for
you guys.
Blaze.
Blaze, I love you.
No, what? What is? I'm so sorry, everybody. This podcast is a joke. All right, so Blaze is gone. Thank God.
He died.
Good riddance. All right, we bleeped him. Oh God, we can't say that, can we? Can we say that?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. Whatever.
Just bleep that.
Already demonetized.
Just bleeped him. Yeah, just bleep that as well. We bleeped him.
Goodbye.
We bleeped him. No idea what the audience has no idea what we did to him. So after all the podcasts of us talking about, yeah, we're gonna go to VidCon. Oh my God, I can't wait. It's finally here, and it sucked. Hank Green, we're gonna sue you. No. How do you guys find VidCon?
Hello.
Genuinely though.
From
Oh.
you good? So from just a not YouTuber standpoint, it was a bit lackluster, I guess. But part of that is also because like this was not a thing. This was not my sort of convention.
Mm-hmm. Lackluster in regards to like what panels or like what you had access to, or because you had community, right?
Yeah, I had community.
Yeah.
It was a pretty lackluster. Like, it was either really kiddie stuff or just
Weird
just
stuff.
like
The stuff
I
you
don't
weren't
know.
interested in, right?
it was not stuff I was interested in.
Right.
I'm not super into getting super giddy and excited for meeting famous people and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh hey, hi, picture, cool. You enjoy your life.
It's fair enough. I reckon.
Because like I'm not gonna overhype it because I know that's basically how it's gonna go down, and that's how it went down with any of the famous people I met, except for the ones that like you brought around us. And they stayed for a prolonged time.
Yeah,
Okay.
all them nerds.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. So Mads, cut all that out. That's a negative opinion of VidCon. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You can keep at it. But it's true. After you mentioned that on the first day when you came back, I was like, hey, let's check the community panels to see how it is. And most of them are kind of lame, man. I'm gonna be honest. They're like.
A lot of the panels were lame, even like the creator ones.
Well, listen, you didn't enjoy becoming a Minecraft YouTuber successfully?
That was my only.
That was the only one you enjoyed? Yeah, fair enough.
Minecrafters unite.
Minecraft is... Dude, just have the intro. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But some of the creative ones, I agree, were not great. It wasn't great because of the content. It's just that, like, it's funny that I mentioned, but they clickbaited us a little bit. It's like, I guess, I know it's VidCon, what did I expect? But psychology of YouTube, I shouldn't call out panels, but that one was just like, I thought they would explain why they watch things and how they watch things. They just explain, like, kids and the psychology, and I'm like, okay.
I could look this up on the internet.
Yeah. This isn't anything pertaining to VidCon in any way. And if I hadn't known Matt Gielen, so if you guys know who Matt Gielen is, he's the guy who wrote Reverse Engineering the Algorithm on YouTube. All the nerds, like myself, have read it. But if I hadn't known about him, I probably wouldn't have gone to any great panels, to be honest. It's just dependent on who was on the panel. Because even the ones that had good creators on it, like the storyteller one, you had Olin Rogers and Hank Green, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you guys didn't have a great time there?
It was
What
a community panel, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
like,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't learn as much about storytelling as I wanted to. They were just pretty much talking about themselves and like being like, "Oh yeah, this is how I decided to become a YouTuber," and
Their own experiences, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I wasn't learning much.
I want to learn how to be the funny.
I like had a notebook and everything. Okay.
And it's also, I think it's also compounded by the fact that VidCon, and I kept stressing this before we were planning the schedule, but VidCon will never go to schedule. There'll be stuff that happens so spontaneously, you're just like, oh, okay,
Sure.
sure.
Like, I guess I'm going to lunch.
Yeah.
No, so what happened was, we were trying to find Zelinki, right? And a couple of us split off, and basically NuNu and Diddy over here said that he was going to the animation meetup panel, right?
Yeah.
And I was on the other side, so me and what's his name? Kowalski, yeah. We were going in there with the guy who can't sing and a couple other people, and then we got stopped. Right?
Oh.
I'm like, oh, okay, what's going on? You have to do a bag check, they said.
Oh.
I'm like, what? I'm like, so they dragged us down to the freaking back to the registration hall where they had an improvised.
Wait, did he
bag.
get mugged at VidCon?
No, I
Fuck that
didn't. No,
VidCon?
no,
Hashtag not.
Story time.
no. But they dragged us down to the registration hall where they had like a makeshift bag and like coat check-in area, and they basically they checked what you had. And then you had to store it there, so you had to come back there later.
Okay.
Right. So we're in line. Me and Kowalski are checking through our bags, and we take out our stuff. We're in line. We make it near the end.
Okay.
This guy comes in. He's like, "Oh yeah, we know. No, you don't need to check your bags anymore.
You just got Nene, dude. You got whipped
I
Nene.
got fucking whipped.
You got whipped and Nene, dude.
I still think maybe that was just like they caught someone,
Yeah.
or they didn't catch someone in time, and they were trying to get away, so they were like, "Alright, we code red."
Yeah. No, it was stupid though. It was so stupid.
It's like, look for an Asian guy. He's selling fake tickets. Yeah. Sorry, man. Either that or you actually got mugged. I'm sorry.
No. They didn't take anything.
What's up?
But then the one VidCon live on her notebook, I just like, and she was taking notes, and I just took her notebook and was like, wrote, I'm sorry.
Because it was the panel he wanted to go to. There was a panel, I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
There were no good panels like
Which one did you go to?
It was like called storytelling and how to make an impact with it or something like that. And we were like, oh, cool, this could be cool because storytelling, that's what we do. But like, it was really like just about like more serious stories and like multicultural stuff and people who go out and do missions and people who like they do like serious stories like, oh yeah, I had girls who like related to my rape story or whatever, and I was like, oh, I'm an animator, I don't have rape stories. So yeah, and it was kind of boring too. We were just kind of sitting there like not learning a lot.
I can imagine them just opening their heart and now he's like, I'm bored.
And she wanted to stand up and leave, and I was like, "Glad it'd be weird if like 30 of us just
This
walked
one
away."
lady, she had this really monotone voice too. She was like, "Oh yeah," and then I went to this one place and I did
Dude,
this thing.
same.
I was
I went to a panel and the guy was just like, Burger King? But like,
the only
really
guy,
monotone guy, man. I don't know.
the only guy that was at that panel who was really like kept it going, was really cool, was Hank Green's brother.
John Green?
John Green, yeah, he was really cool.
Yeah, they're very experienced at that kind of stuff. I think it's also, anytime I saw those vague panels, I think it's because I saw this in VidCon Australia as well. Those kind of vague panels end up not being great. You've either like got to go to the ones that are actively out to teach, or you got to go to the ones that are like, that you know the person. So I know Matt Geelan, so I know he's gonna have a good panel.
And Matt Pat.
And Matt Pat, he's gonna be a great.
That was a good.
Yeah, that was a good one. But then I went to one yesterday. I went to two yesterday about like Premiere Pro editing, and it's one of the best panels I've been to ever. It was so informative, and it wasn't just like editing it as well. He showed how to be really efficient with your time management, and like his setup about his just recording and how he records vlogs and overhead editing, because he was an educational YouTuber, like the ones that kind of like Nerd Writer, like the ones that kind
I
of
love them.
Yeah, exactly, right. And he showed us how to do some of the animations and how to be quicker in that, and I was like, this is really cool. This is really, really cool, and it's made me more active and to be more efficient in animation. But speaking of animation, we've got to talk about the animation meetup.
Oh yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh boy.
We all had different experiences with that meetup.
So do we want to start with animator experiences or?
Let's do audience experiences, because I can ramble forever. But let's go audience. What's up?
All right. So.
Oh, sorry. Before we start, context: the animation meetup was just an informal get together of animators and audience members, just to have just to see each other a little bit. Yeah, that's it.
All right. So from the fan perspective, I didn't like it.
Oh.
Because first off, you had to get there incredibly early just to get a good spot in line, and then when they started letting people in, which they did early,
Like 3 hours early.
not 3 hours early,
2 hours.
2 hours early. They started letting us in at like 12:45.
Yeah.
And it wasn't scheduled till 3.
2:30.
2:30.
Yeah, so 2 hours early.
So yeah, let us in early, and there was really no like structure to it yet. There were just the room was just filled with tables and stuff, and the animators were piling in because they were in line first, and also some fans, and people were able to just like they were telling us to grab a seat immediately, but people just started getting out and going to their favorite animators and asking for signatures, which is understandable.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually you started to try and bring some order to it because Oscar wasn't there, who was in charge of it.
Yeah.
And but like with that, I thought it was nice because everyone important's in one spot. But then they started the assembly line. The signature assembly line was so.
It's long.
Go for it.
Just ghost it.
Like,
Go for it.
what got me, because we were in a line, everyone was waiting, there's a huge line. What got me is that you walk into the room and it was so tiny. Like, so many people are lining up, but it was such a tiny room.
Mm-hmm.
And if you hadn't been seated, they chase you out, basically. Or they just let you sit in the corner and wait. What else? The moment Tim walked in and the little group of like kids just surrounded him and like a head, and they just started following him all over the place, that caused a bit of chaos. I didn't like that, because we were all just sitting around talking, like waiting for you guys to be ready. That's another shitty part, is that they chased us away because they were like, oh yeah, there's a certain kind of people that can be here even though you're not like disturbing the order. We'd like you to leave. And that was shitty because I wanted to wait you guys out so we could go like have a snack or whatever.
Yeah, because we were gonna go do. I don't remember what it was, but it felt like we were gonna go do something.
We had plans after. Yeah, we did.
We did.
Yeah. Anything else from the others? Not.
Demon, people wanted to sign stuff from Demon.
I don't know why they asked me.
It's red hair.
That red hair, man.
Oh yeah, also because of part of the cast. Not really part of the cast, but like plenty of people that in our circle, I guess, were being asked for signatures, which was pretty funny.
Yeah, everyone was coming to us asking for signatures. I'm not famous. What do you want? But the good part of it was that you could see all the fans just smiling. Everyone was having a good grand time, despite the terrible assembly line. It was great. It was a good meetup.
It was good till the assembly line.
No, even after that, it was nice. Like we didn't get to stay to see how it ended, but
You guys
it was
got
still
kicked
nice.
out.
Yeah, we got kicked out because of the number of people that could be present at the current moment.
Yeah. Rush and Laddi, how do you guys feel?
Sick.
Sick? But like, obviously, because you guys were here from the beginning, right? Like, you guys...
Yeah, we were there like since the very beginning when we were all sitting on the tables.
Yeah.
I wish it could have stayed. I know it couldn't have because there were so many people in just this little small little room. But if it was just a small group of people, I wish we could have just stayed just sitting on those tables and just like talking, because I was able to like walk around and actually get to like talk to some of the parents and the kids, and I really liked that a lot more than when we like all got our table and we were just sitting and we were like, okay, you have 30 seconds with each person. I was like, oh,
Can I
okay.
interrupt a bit?
Yeah.
I don't know what the rules were, but like there was nothing scheduled for that room after that. There was nothing scheduled before it, nothing scheduled after it. So like they could have broken the rules a bit, especially with the turnout, because it would have made sense to like let people keep going. But I don't know if it's because like Oscar paid for the room for a certain amount of time or something. But
I don't think it's paid. It's just like a freehold thing. Yeah.
okay, so like they very well could have.
They could have. Yeah, they absolutely could have. But when the line happened, how do you find the signatures and everything? Was that okay?
Yeah.
I know you love Rush. You love signing stuff.
People come up to me, they want a picture. I'm like, yeah, I want to make a goofy one or serious. They're like, let's take goofy. I'm like,
a guy comes up and everybody comes up. You're just like, hey, you want to hear a crazy story? Then
Crazy
run away.
Oh my goodness! And just run. Well, that was crazy.
But did you actually enjoy the signing parts?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, that was so cool.
Until we had till some guy kept yelling at me. He's like, "Go faster!"
I'm sorry, man. That I shouldn't name drop, but that bleep that out. But yeah, you guys done? Because I can go from like my perspective.
Go on.
Like if you like, was there any parts about it you didn't enjoy other than the fact that it was impersonal a little bit?
No, I felt like it was all really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True. He was in line for a while. I was like,
Dude.
True, why aren't you at a table? And he was like, I don't know.
Exposing this guy, man. When he came to me, I told him, I was like, what are you doing here, man? He's like, oh, I didn't think I was good enough. I'm like, shut the hell up, man. Go to the end of the table and sit down.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't like was that not all the animators got a chance to be signing stuff, like Sugar and Katsune.
Oh, dude, I'll let me just spill some tea here. But so basically, from my perspective, the event was meant to start at 2:30 and run until 3:30. So an hour event of fans and animated meeting each other. And I had just come back from a panel, just a different panel, and I think it was an industry one because I was coming downstairs, and I see Sugar Cup. And she's like, Maz, the room is full. I'm like, what do you mean the room is full? Which room?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, the room is full. I'm like, what do you mean room, bro? What are you talking about? And so she dragged me to the animation meetup room. And then, first of all, I was the first one in line because it was full. And the security guard's like, doesn't matter if you have I had a full access badge because I was James's +1. The other one's out. Anyway, so he was like, I don't know, who's that guy? But the security guard's like, no, stop, you can't go in. And I was like, dude, it's like I'm the first one in line, just one person can come in. And so he's like, all right, you can go in. And I go in, and the first thing I see is just a bunch of round tables around the room, and animators are all on one side sitting in circles talking to each other, and the fans and audience members are like in the other side sitting in circles talking to each other. And I'm like, what is this? What is this, man? This is not even like, no one's even mingling each other. Yeah. If it was mingling, I would be cool. But no one was even doing that. And I couldn't also ignore the fact that a line was forming outside 2 hours ago. And I was like, I don't know what's happening. And so Tabs and Chili, they came up to me. And they were like, yo, you're good at speaking. Can you take charge? I was like, what are you talking about? They're like, yeah. So they thrust onto me this thing. And I was like, I guess I can talk to the security guard. And security guard's like, look, man, I don't know what's happening. You guys do what you want. Just don't cover the exit. I'm like, all right, fair enough. And so the first thought was get tables set out so that instead of it being like,
Is it dead?
the battery's fine.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that recording?
I think it has a time limit of how much it's going to record.
Oh, that's lame.
Alright, thank you guys. Hey, Cry. You enjoyed the podcast? Yeah. vehemently shakes his head.
Future animator.
It's okay.
You just
All right,
sit
just-
down.
You can sit off
Voice number
camera.
three,
You're off
over there.
camera right
Yeah,
here.
if you want to add your input, you can. All right. So, as I was saying, so basically, round table people were being like just sitting in the opposite sides, and I took charge, and I was like, all right, we're gonna make the animators on tables so that people could actually approach us. We don't want it to just be nobody talking to anybody, and so we did a rudimentary version of that. And I told Rebecca-chan, because she was here, to text Oscar, because he was officially in charge, and I was just I was putting band-aids on until everything came together. And so I got on the mic, I told everyone what was happening, 5 to 10 minutes of everything was sorting. People helped to set the tables up, and it was good. And then, we set up in a way so that the stopgaps, aka the people who were like really, really popular, were not bunched up so that it created a stop. So Rebecca Parham was on one corner, Tim was in one corner, James was in the other, and I was trying to make it spread out like that. And Tabs was in the beginning and stuff like that. And so obviously more and more animators came in, and I told people like, hey, message me if you want to get in, because a line is forming. Because security said, there's like 200 people waiting outside, we can't let people in, we have to kick people out now. And so that's why I was like, all right, everybody go in a line and go out once you're done. And some more animators came in, like Swoosh and Junkie Janker, and all them people. They came a little later because they didn't realize.
So did like Pivots and Healthy.
Don't even get me started on them, because this was all 2 hours early. We began signing and stuff. We were signing things for 2 hours, man.
Yeah, before we started.
And then the Kelsey and Jordan. And then Anti Darkheart and Pivots XD. Basically, they arrived at 2:30 because that was the time, and they're like, "What? It's been going on for 2 hours?" And so they got let in, and then they joined us. They sat down and started signing. But the worst part is that the audience members who arrived at 2:30, none of them got in, because the line was 1,500 people long. Yeah. And that was even before James and Domix had even come in, and Jaden was on our own panel. So it was just it was like chaos outside. And people were taking pictures. Some of the you guys got kicked out, and same with Cypherden's posse. But they all took pictures and videos of it, and I just watched like a huge amount of people, right? And the reason I think we were given a small room is because it was unofficial. It was like run by Oscar Animates, and it's just like I don't think VidCons knew how big it would be, and so they gave a small room. But at the end of it, there was so many people waiting outside that the security was like, "Yo, we can't let you leave outside the normal doors. We have to keep you all backstage." And so we all went backstage to this secret pathway.
Where the feature creators go, yeah.
Yeah, where the feature creators stuff and go. And we were slowly let out in the backstage area. But basically it was insane, and and then executive director had to step in and actually relay instruction. And he was like, "Yo, should we let James from the other ones out in?" And I was like, "Yes." And I know people are gonna be real excited, but I think it'll be okay. And it did work out, thankfully. Yeah. And Domix came 10 minutes before the end because he didn't want to steal anybody's clout, which he did. But for me anyway, in the end, I'm the kind of guy who enjoys the extroverted kind of. I enjoy that kind of stuff, I try to make sure every single person that came in, I asked their name. I asked whether they were having fun with VidCon. I asked them whether they had plans. I try to make it so that I could have that same interaction that you wanted in the beginning, and even with parents as well. I would just have whenever someone was in the front of me and they were stopped, I was just like, "How's it going, man?" And we just had a little good old chat, just to make it a bit more personal, Mm-hmm. But I think in the end, it felt rushed because it did feel rushed, And they were like 30 seconds, and I'm like, "Okay, 30 seconds." And then Travis came in, "No face." I'm like, "Don't draw." I know you're artists and drawers, but don't draw. Just sign.
Still didn't stop some people.
I know it didn't.
I kept drawing my face.
I know
the whole thing.
you suck. What's up?
Oh, if I can add on to the whole unorganized thing.
Go for it.
I showed up a little later at the line. I totally cut the line with. I hopped in with a guy who can't sing and Kowalski.
You cut a line?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
No.
Animal.
Yes, but anyways, I went up there and we got to the front, and the security guard up there, instead of letting whoever was in front of the line go in, he was like, "Oh, can we get one person?" And then someone from like way back of the line would be like, "Hey, I'm raising my hand," and then they go in. I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, that's
I noticed that too. They did that with the Q&A panel.
Yeah,
Oh, that was much worse.
it's just like it should be the people in front. Why are you
Yeah,
asking?
it's like there's a line.
yeah. So the animation meetup, I think the most of it is because no one expected this unofficial thing to be this big. I think this crew admitted that it was the biggest line in the entire event, right? Because it was just so many. Yeah, it's awesome, but it feels bad that it was like we had to take charge. You know what I mean? The VidCon didn't help us really.
Yeah.
Because to be fair, it's no fault of their own because they just didn't realize how much it would be. And what feels worse is that Oscar and I were trying to manage it all, juggle everything. Oscar, 10 out of 10. Everybody give him credit because whilst I was on the mic as like the announcer, he was the one running around and actually telling people, relaying secret messages that I couldn't announce to the animators and stuff. And he and I were talking to Travis constantly. He was just very good once he arrived. Anyway, so because it was such a long line, and because Kat and Sugar are relatively, I wouldn't say distance, but they're like they know like a few people in the community. They didn't message me. That's how the other animators got in, so we could let the security know, like, oh, they're animators, let them in. So they tried to come in, they just couldn't, and so they just didn't get in. And so Sugar and Katsune just unfortunately didn't do anything.
I felt really bad.
That's okay. Just they don't deserve it. No, I'm kidding. No, they're great. I love them a lot.
You know what's really fun though?
What's up?
Beach day.
Beach day was great,
Beach day was good,
dude. So
except for the sunburn.
rest in peace, everybody with sunburn.
Jesus.
That's wrong.
My face is
I'm the
really
only
cute.
person who survived the beach without being sunburned.
Good
Excuse
for
me?
you.
Excuse me. Hello.
Alright,
Yeah, I'm brown.
boy, we get you.
I'm a
That's
brown
so
boy.
true.
I'm immune to sunburn.
I
Me too.
got hit bad on like my shoulders. And
You're brown as well,
Albino brown.
dude. I'm a halfie as well. I'm 50% brown and 50% brown.
Black.
Beach
Pretty
day
good,
was
yeah.
fun, but karaoke night was.
So hold on, before we move on, Beach Day was basically a day 2 days before the start of VidCon, where a lot of the animators went down to a beach and just hung out and just had a good old time. And we invited a lot of people. I think like a few people who didn't go just hadn't arrived, like Rebecca Parham and Sugar. But they would have they would have come. And Swoot, well, that's because of they're idiots and they just came at 5 o'clock at night. I'm like, we're not gonna stay at the beach at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Why did you come?
Yeah,
What are you doing?
Dominic and Swoosh were last minute, and we're like, oh, what the heck?
Dude, don't you love it when you go to the beach at 5 p.m. until 7 p.m.? Me too, man. No, so I hate you, Swoosh. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway,
Got him.
got him.
we played jump rope with seaweed.
Yeah. And we put seaweed on Rush's head.
Yeah, beautiful hair.
We were in the ocean and we were just like, wait, what is this? And there's just long, like, rope of seaweed just
Yeah, then just
pulls up
Ivan
and we just
Ivan
keep
and
pulling
Kurt
it
found
out.
it, and then we were dragging it to the shore. It's like, holy crap! Look at this thing.
And then everyone just surrounded each other and just started doing
And
the double dutch.
I said we should play jump rope, and I went to one of the ends, and then other people were saying it, I believe, and it was a good time. It snapped a couple times, but it was still long enough to like keep going with it. And it was always really funny when someone didn't like duck low enough because it's
Smack them on the tongue.
yeah
The sloppy seaweed just going, just right.
yeah it was a time. And then we made some sand castles, but everyone except for me and one, I think his name was Pat.
Uh-huh.
Life
Noggin.
Me and him were making a sandcastle together, and eventually, like, James started, and then everyone went to go help James with his.
It was a wall. It was very simple.
Ginger Pale.
Oh yeah, Ginger Pale made this really good.
And
Pikachu
Papillon.
design.
He's really good.
Ginger
Yeah.
Pale and Pat.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so because the reason we wanted to have this, and we had another house gathering as well, which was really fun, but the reason we wanted it is because we realized that at VidCon we're probably not going to be allowed to meet other animators, and we tried on the last day and we got like in trouble with security because there was just audience where we were causing a fire hazard, and so it was a lot of fun just hanging out with other creators, you know, and just having a good old chat with them. Some of them you don't know, some of them you do know, and you've talked to on the internet for a while, but now you meet them face to face and attach a face to the name.
I might be remembered by famous people now.
Yeah,
It's me. I remember you,
famous.
Dad.
Too famous. James is. I don't know. I would think
What was it,
And
Dad?
karaoke was last night.
karaoke was good as well. Before we close off on the animation VidCon thing, I think I know a lot of people were angry on Twitter. A lot of people were angry at VidCon about animation, but I think, like, objectively, as you know, as a guy who likes to organize a few things, there was no way they could have expected that much of a turnout. I was talking to Dave from Boy in a Band, and I was talking to James and Jaden as well. Last year, they were allowed to, like, whilst James and Jaden did get mobbed when they stood out, it wasn't immediate, and they could walk to places without being mobbed. Adam especially, Tim especially, they could all just have a good time. And it went from that to now, like, 10 plus people that would get mobbed all the time. The community is massive. You know, longest line of VidCon was animation, you know? And I think whilst VidCon expected an increase, it went from like this to this, right? It went way beyond their expectations. And they gave us one of the biggest rooms for the animation Q&A panel.
Yeah.
But even that was not enough, you know what I mean? And it's rough, and you know, the parents were getting like, give me a refund.
Yeah.
You know, understandable from VidCon's perspective. And then we met Hank Green, and Hank Green, maybe I shouldn't say, you know what? Hank Green apologized and said, "Yo, I'm sorry about what happened with the animation panel and animation meetup. We'll get a bigger venue next year, and we'll make sure everything runs a bit more smoothly. And hopefully we can push it. I think you guys deserve a bit of a more mainstream advertisement at this point." Which I thought, like, he didn't promise anything. He promised like the bigger venues because we need it now, but he didn't promise the advertisement. But I think it was good for him to not only acknowledge that it was just not run well, you know, it was just poorly organized at the points, and actively give a reassurance that it will be better next year.
Yeah. So you're not gonna talk more about the animation Q&A?
I think that's a topic not for us to talk about because James, Jaden, and Dominic all have their own opinions.
Yes.
You know.
Cutting it close on time.
Yeah. So they have their own opinions. If we ever get them on the podcast, I think they can rant about that. I know James was unhappy with it, but basically we got in trouble quite a bit. Breaking the rules.
I just feel bad for the panel before, like the makeup girls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the kids were just waiting online on purpose for like 3 panels just so they could get the front row seat. Like when they said goodbye, all the girls said goodbye at their panel. Like the room was packed. I'm like, oh, you guys came from us, and
You're like, yeah.
and so when they said goodbye, all these kids in the back start rushing towards forward, and then the kids in the front didn't move because they're like, we've been here all day. And they're like, oh
no.
And they had to walk back sad.
That
to the
was
back.
funny to see.
And so no one left the room once the girls went. I feel so bad.
That's so funny.
We were about to not get into the panel because until we ran into Tim, because we were running late because we heard that Ego Raptor was.
Wow.
hanging out.
We get it. Ego Raptor followed Rush and Laddi.
So cute.
So jealous of you
Why
guys.
wasn't
I wish
Eagle
I met
Raptor
him.
at the animation meeting?
He's not animated anymore.
He's not an animator, so you know.
No, Aaron's
Ego
Not anymore.
Raptor, make
Ego
more
Raptor's
animations.
Yeah. So Tim helped us get in.
The panel definitely had some problems, and Tim did good on talking to security about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I was just handling the backstage, angry James.
Yeah.
The only thing that was funny was like when we were like trying to get into the panel when Tim was trying to get us in, the guard was whatever. She was like, okay, only animators, and so she was like, okay, so Laddi, you're in, Rush, you're in, a couple more of us, Lauren, and then I see David walk in.
This guy sneaking in.
Like, Damon, where's Rachel?
I am animator. I have red hair. And everyone's like, okay.
Like, redhead, go.
Demon animates.
I didn't say anything. Tim
She's
just said,
like, okay.
red hair, get in here.
They literally said that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You're Markiplier, right?
I was like next to Illy, Hamachi, and Tim was like one person away from me.
It's Canadian Markiplier.
Canadian Markiplier.
That's funny.
So this was basically like we want to have a longer episode of the podcast, but I think spilling tea about the animation thing was pretty good as well. Yeah. maybe event, but just tea basically. There's more stories that we'll probably cover in the future episodes. What's up?
Oh, just doing this.
Oh yeah, gosh.
Oh, just doing this.
There's more stories obviously about like the shenanigans we did as well, like karaoke night, and just the other crap like mafia and all that. Rush saved himself. We should have saved
I
himself.
should have saved myself. I'm not selfish.
Laddi,
You killed me.
Laddie's a murderer, man. Alright. But I think we have to go to Cheesecake Factory soon. So there you go. That's the impromptu live version of the podcast. We might do a different. It's not an official episode. It's a live episode.
Special edition.
It's special edition.
Limited.
Available only to.
Get out of here. Get that out of here.
All right.
I just want to say, nobody brought any of the stuff that we told them to bring in past podcast. No one brought me a turtle to throw.
Yep.
No one wore Heelys.
Yep.
One guy did.
No.
One guy did.
I
One
think
guy went by.
I never saw someone with
Blaze was
Heelys in the expo hall.
No, the freaking React guys were wearing heels.
How dare you? Well, no one cares about the React guys. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh.
Alright, so.
I would have bought Heelys, but I'm very bad with money.
I would have brought
Heelys,
turtles.
but they're
Teens
too
react to
small.
TheAMaazing.
Teens react to TheAMaazing. Oh my god, I'd cry. Cryonics. Okay, so.
Oh, cry.
That's our friend in the background. Alright, so I think we're going to cut it there. Thanks for tuning into this special edition. Apologize to our editor for just this mess. And, fan art. We keep forgetting.
welcome.
I'm so sorry.
Oh wow, I'm in this one.
That's it.
Why is
Alright,
there a random
that's
bird in the fan
very
art?
quick fan art. That's it. It's done now. Fan art. It's done now.
No more.
Alright.
More fan art.
Thanks for coming along, everybody.
Never.
Thanks for watching. And we're going to log off now. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.